Now, I know what's going through all of your minds right now. What is that old guy doing on stage trying to speak about AI? Isn't that true? Yeah. Mind you, you could have had the choice. You could have had the younger version of me, so. That's how I started out life. I started out life as a professional drummer in a band. Did that for 10 years in a rock band. Best job in the world. And then I got my first job, which was selling financial services. And I remember the first day going in, and I had a great boss as a leader. I said, "What is selling all about?" He said, "It's the easiest thing in the world. You get into the office 8 o'clock in the morning, you pick up the phone, and you make 20 cold calls. People will swear at you, they'll put it on the phone, but every day, the law of averages says 4 people will say, 'Come and see me.' So 4 people a day, 1 won't be there, 1 won't know why you are there, 2 will like you, and 1 will buy from you." The first year I was the top sales guy, but I realized then systems plus habits give results. Right up until today, the only thing that have changed are the systems. Systems are AI, LinkedIn, some of the other things that we can be using. And I love the way that things have changed, because can you remember how advanced we thought these things were? Well, you're all too young, but when the fax machines came out, how cool was a fax? Some of you don't even know. It's like, "Oh, what's a fax machine?" Can you remember when fax machine, and the phones, remember those big brick phones when they came out there? Everything has changed. Every industry is disrupted. And I think we're going through a massive disruption right now with AI coming in. How many of us are using AI? Everybody in the, what's your favorite? What's your favorite AI? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Yeah, so it's interesting. There's so many different things we can be using. And with the industries being disrupted, you as business leaders have got to realize how things have changed over here, because business has changed massively. If we look when I actually started out selling, it was all about prospecting. How do we prospect? The cold call, what are we doing over there? Then pitching, get into a client, give them the pitch. How do we handle objections? I was taught 21 different ways to close a sale, and then servicing them. Now, if we're still working that way, we're working in 1970s, 1980s style of selling. All of us as business leaders have got to realize business has changed massively. And the way it works right now starts off with, who is your ideal client profile? What does your ideal client look like? And that's a great, great starting point, because for every one of us, how do we find that right kind of client? The second thing we've got to do is we've got to build authority. And this is all about how much great content are you putting out there in terms of blogs, articles, videos. How many of us go onto Google searching for things? Every one of us go to Google. But now we go to ChatGPT. I mean, search engine optimization, SEO has changed to AEO and GEO. People now do searches on, they'll be going to Gemini, they'll be going to ChatGPT. If you're not putting articles out there, you're not going to be found. The third one is LinkedIn. How many of us do LinkedIn? Anyone do LinkedIn? Oh, we're in a LinkedIn society as leaders. By the way, every leader over here, even if you do not do any LinkedIn, you have no activity, please make sure you have a great LinkedIn profile, because believe me, people will check you out. And by the way, I can help you get that great LinkedIn profile. No. So get a great LinkedIn profile, and then AI for insights. AI is absolutely fantastic. That leads you to your executive conversations. And then we go into that emotional connection. I remember many years ago, there was a great speaker I saw on stage, and he said something that has stuck with me forever, is that people make decisions based on logic, but they act on emotion. What are the emotional kinds of things that we get people to buy? And I do a lot of work with the property company that we've set up over here, and all of our salespeople are taught that people buy from 1 or 2 emotions. They either buy from the head or they buy from the heart. A head buyer is going to want facts and figures, analytics. The heart buyer is going to want Look at that beautiful property. Can you imagine when you get home, you're looking over the land? Now it's the same thing as leaders. Are you leading from the head or the heart? And the people that you're leading or coaching, are they head or heart? Because sometimes you can get things wrong. If you're just a head leader and you're trying to get into a heart person, you're going to be bumping heads all the time. So as leaders, we've got to change, and we've got to realize who in our teams are the heads, who are the hearts, and then we get into the strategic closing. So business has changed dramatically. So I thought I'm going to play around a little bit and see what I could do. So taking AI into it, taking building authority, and LinkedIn. So I thought I want to do a LinkedIn post. By the way, I don't know if anyone has seen, in about the last 3 months, there's been a massive change in LinkedIn. There's a new algorithm. It's about a 200-page change that's happened over there. And what they love now is carousels, basically page turning, where they're looking through something. So I thought, okay, let's use a bit of AI. I'm going to find a nice little piece of AI. I'm going to create a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to save that, and I'll save it as a PDF. And I'm going to upload it to LinkedIn. LinkedIn will love that. People have got to page through it. But starting with PowerPoint, does anyone here still do PowerPoint? What's the worst thing about PowerPoint? PowerPoint. Isn't that true? Have you ever tried to move an image and it goes all weird and the face is wide? So what I'm going to demonstrate today is a little application called Gamma, gamma.app, and take a look at how this is going to work here. So I've gone into Gamma here, and I'm going to make a presentation on leadership. So I'll go in, it'll say edit the prompt. I'm just going to click edit the prompt. And now it's going to go, do you want it minimal, concise, detailed, or extensive? I'm going to click minimal over there. You can put in who's your audience over there, what kind of tone do you want. And then I thought, let me play around with the language. I'm actually going to go into Bahasa. Let me do this in Bahasa. Scroll down, I'll go to Bahasa. You can choose the look or feel. How do you want it to look or feel there? You can choose what kind of images. So I'm just going to put photos. And I'm going to click generate, and watch what happens within seconds. I have a 10-page incredible PowerPoint. There we go. Brings up pictures for me, and I can now have a look at that. It's in Bahasa. It looks fantastic. And now I can play around with it. And I can say, let's have a look at some of the pictures. Actually, I don't like the look of this picture. That looks weird. So let's click on Agent, and let's change that picture. I'll just go into the prompt, change that picture for me. All of a sudden, we now have a beautiful picture. Then I can say, listen, what if I wanted this in English instead of Bahasa? I can go into the agent, and I'm going to type in, translate the whole thing into English for me. And within seconds, there it is. That same presentation is now English. We've got a great presentation. And what I'm going to do with that presentation now is I'm going to export that to PowerPoint. So I'm just going to click on the 3 dots. I'm going to click Export. I'm going to export that to PowerPoint. We've now got a great PowerPoint presentation, and I always add on an extra slide at the end, which is going to be my call to action. So you as business, that's your call to action. If you want to find out more, call John, call Mike at this number. And you always save this now as a PDF document. So we go in, we've got it as a PDF, and now I'm going to hop over to LinkedIn. Go over to LinkedIn, and I'm going to go start a post. I'm going to go down to the bottom, the plus mark. I'm going to go add a document. I'm going to go and find this document now. Find the document, just add it in, and within seconds, I now have a great little post over there. If we click on to done, I can now go into my LinkedIn, and there it is. LinkedIn loves it. 10 pages, and there they go, page by page. Within seconds, I've created a presentation. Is that cool? How many of you can use that? Is that great? So think about that. So gamma.app, the 3 things we covered there. Your authority, how you're building authority. You're putting something out there. You're using AI to help you create it. And then you're putting it onto LinkedIn to help you get out there and present it. By the way, does anyone want any more new customers? Anybody want new customers? No? Okay, thank you very much. Do you want new customers? Yeah. Have you ever been to a conference like this? And then somebody gives you their business card, and then you have too much fun and that business card has disappeared. Is it only me that that's happened to? It's like, where's that person's email address? So I thought, what is a great place where I can find, do you want to know how to find anybody's email address? Would that be cool? Okay, so this is a great little app called Hunter. I'm going to go into Hunter, and I'm going to look in Kuala Lumpur over here, search for city or state. I'm going to put in Kuala Lumpur. Let's say I'm looking for accountants in businesses from 1 to 10 people. I'll click the industry. As I'm clicking, you can see it comes up on the right. So accountants, I'm going to put in size, 1 to 10 people in the company. It's going to pull up on the right-hand side every business over there. Now I can go and choose the business, anyone I want to, and I can find any of their email addresses. So KHR, I'm going to click onto it. Oh no! I can't see what it is. It's something at KHR, but if I click on a little thing that says reveal, there you go. I've got the email address. And so I can go through, get anybody's email address, click reveal, and there we go. I've got the email addresses. Is that cool? Hunter.io. So please, there are so many fantastic tools out there that we should be using. And again, for me, I call it the Magnificent Seven, knowing which tools to use at which time. How many of us use ChatGPT? Yeah, ChatGPT is fantastic. I love ChatGPT because it gives us all kinds of things, ways we can use things. Is anyone using Gemini? So Gemini is fantastic for creating images or even videos now. So what I try and do is I combine with all of these tools. If I'm going to do a post on LinkedIn and I want a great image, or if I'm going to put a video out on YouTube and I want a thumbnail, Gemini is where I go. And again, it's learning about prompting. How do you prompt? What about Claude? Anyone using Claude? I love Claude. So for writing, Claude is almost the best thing for writing. So I do an article a month, and I'd say to everyone, please do an article a month. I've just picked up an inquiry recently because somebody put in there, LinkedIn, an AI speaker who has spoken internationally. My LinkedIn profile came up. You can't believe the power of LinkedIn. And you can't believe the power of doing articles on LinkedIn. But I have a weird and warped sense of humor, and that's the way that I write. If you read any of my articles, they're like really weird. So I go to Claude and I'll say, here's my website, read all my articles and write for me the way that I write. What comes back is I read it now. I could have written that article. So think about Claude for writing. For Grok, you want to find out what's trending at the moment. Grok is fantastic for finding out what's trending. DeepSeek, going into deep research. And then Perplexity. You see, I put a lady in. Isn't that cool? I thought we can't have 7 guys. Our lady is Miss Perplexity. Anyone use Perplexity? Perplexity is amazing to find out, what do I actually write about? If I'm going to do an article, if I want to do a video, what do I actually write about? So Perplexity I use instead of Google. If I go to Google, let's say I come over here and I'll say, I want to find a nice Malaysian restaurant that has got a Michelin star. If I do Google, all I'm going to do, whoever pays the most is going to come up on that page. If I use Perplexity, it'll say these are all of the restaurants, this is where they are, here's the menu, here's the prices. But just try this, go in and ask any question on Perplexity, and then see a little thing afterwards that says related. Now related, you will see 4 or 5 other questions, and these are questions that are currently being asked on Google right now. That is what you take, and that is what you write your articles on. And then, of course, what we've just seen is Gamma. Gamma, fantastic for creating any PowerPoint presentations. So think about using the Magnificent Seven. And by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to give you a big giveaway that I put together on how to use each of these. But here are some things. As great as AI is, there's a lot of things that AI cannot do for us. It cannot create trust. It cannot do empathy. Somebody says, my child is sick. You know, AI, I'm so sorry your child is sick. No, that's not going to work. It can't create empathy. Courage and inspiration. It's not going to inspire your team. You are the leaders. You're the only ones that are going to inspire. All AI is a great tool to help you get there. Vision and culture. It's never going to help you with any vision or culture. So the lessons I've learned from 70 countries is you've got to have adaptability. You've got to have curiosity. There's got to be constant learning all the time. And that only comes from great leaders like yourselves. And again, for me, it's how do we create excellence in our business? Excellence is a team sport. How do you get everybody in your team working together? I mean, when I go out and I work with teams, I see some companies and their teams know a little bit about AI. Not much, they just know a little bit here. These are the most dangerous people because they're putting stuff out there that really could do a lot of harm. You've then got some people that work for you that, you know, they're pretty good. You want more of those people. And you'll find one or two people in your company that are fantastic. These are the people that you've got to say, listen, I want you to form our AI committee. So what you've got to do is you've got to take all of these people, you've got to get them all working together. In fact, you don't want people that know a little bit, people that know a little bit more. What you want is actually everybody working together. Isn't that cool? If you could get everyone in your company working together, doing the same kinds of things, I mean, there you have it. There we go. Everyone's doing the same kind of thing. You're not going to end up with a little bit more, and a little bit more. So think about that. How are you going to go and create that change? Remember these ropes, because that's going to create something visual for you. How are you going to go and make that all happen? So right now, please get your phones out, because I'm going to give you a great giveaway. Get your phones ready, and we're going to get the source coming up. There we go. Let's all scan that. There's a great document that you can all be using, a lot of giveaways there. Did you pick up a few ideas? Yes. Did you pick up a few ideas? Yes. Did we have some fun? Thank you so much. Meet you all later on. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.